Alright, I think we're going. Welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Thursday night, April 29th. It's large project night. So we will be working on our jar covering, at least for this week and probably next week. I'm hoping to get more done. Once I get in my stuff to start working on the next inlay, we'll make large project night into that. If I do finish this up, the jar covering, during that I'll show it. Alright, just double checking my stuff again as usual. I believe everything's coming through, and we'll jump right on in. Getting a lot of stream drop though. Hopefully it'll straighten itself out. It seems to normally do that. So, you can see I got a little bit more done on this. I wanted to get more done on it before tonight, but I ended up spending a lot of last night and today working on the bracelet that we were working on last night. I wanted to try up a different style, a different way of doing it, and it wasn't really working. I tried it 3 or 4 different ways. I still got a couple more ideas on how I might want to do it, but I had to kind of put it to the side and get all this stuff out for tonight. So I didn't get anything done on this today, really. I got a few open rings here. I spent a few minutes waiting to get the stream started. I pre-opened a few rings. I'm just kind of going to start squaring this off, and this is my neck hole for the bottle, and we're going to put it around there. It's pretty simple, 6-in-1, European 6-in-1 weave. I think that does that part. So then we'll kind of get started back into it, and once we kind of get this squared off here, we'll put it on the jar and see where we're at. Nothing fancy. I keep changing my mind every time I keep playing with it on where I want it to go and how I want it to work. So it's still a play in progress. This is the jar we're trying to cover. I need to give the jar a good cleaning, but right now I'm playing with everything so much I figured I'd just wait till I get near the end here. It's a Longhorn root beer jar. So we'll just kind of keep going. I don't know how far I want to bring it down, how I'm going to open up this section yet. I was going to do straps around the top, but I'm going with a 4-in-1 or the 6-in-1 all the way across the top. I don't know if I'm going to bring it right down here and stop, and then just do some cross sections and do a full back 6-in-1 along with the front, and then use straps to go around that. Unsure yet, just kind of playing it by ear. It's definitely harder working with a otter shaped bottle. If you're working with a round one, it's fairly simple to wrap, and I'm using bigger rings on this just because I have a bunch of these 5/16 bigger rings, which does well for a European 6-in-1. So that all being said, giving one more check, everything seems to be going good. We'll go ahead and just get on started. If you were with us last night, my camera kept doing, let me move my thing so I can see it better here. Kept giving me, it was going into demo mode. I was kind of wondering if that's what it was, and it was going into demo mode, so that's why my video was a little funky. But I fixed that last night, so everything should be good today for it. So again, just thank you for anybody that joins us. If you're watching now live or watching later the video, thanks for joining us. So let's go ahead and get working on this. It's been kind of a little bit of a booger here and there. Just getting some of these things going and making sure I'm all lined up, and now I gotta make sure that I'm in the video again. My ultimate hardest thing is making sure that I'm showing the project in the video. Try to keep it within video constraints. So alright, so we got that one, and that one flips. So one more. But yeah, I was trying to play with the bracelets last night, and they were. It was fine doing it the way we were doing it during the video, but I wanted to try to turn them the waves instead of kind of going up and down on the long axis. Try to turn the waves sideways and work it from big to small. Just wasn't working. I ended up going to try to connect them in several different ways, and I did not like any of the ways that they were connecting up. So I was like, and I ended up going to just a normal 4-in-1 style to see if that would work a little bit better, and it seemed to, but there were still some aspects of it that I just didn't like. So I'm still going to play with it and try to figure something out for it. I don't know exactly what I want to do yet with it. I mean, it didn't come out too bad, but I just didn't care for it. So I'm going to play around a little bit more with it this weekend and see how things work. Sometimes it's just a matter of keep playing, and then all of a sudden, hey, that looks good, it works. So, okay, 3. And it's kind of like this jar. Every time I pick it up, I'm just like, I want to try something different. I want to try this, I want to try that. It's just a matter of keep playing until you find out what you like. Like I said, when I do round jars, they're much easier, especially if you want to have a cutout area per se to show a label and whatnot. There's less worry on a round jar, and most labels are square, not triangular, so it's throwing a little few hiccups in doing this, but you know, it's all good. You learn some more while we're doing it. So things that will work, things that won't work. It's a nice thing about chainmail. It doesn't work right the first time, you can kind of pull it apart and try something different, see if that'll work better. So we'll square this up, put it on there, see how it fits. I know there's still some in the center. I'm going to have to put in some other rings on the corner areas. I was just getting the basic set so that I could get a better idea of how it was going to go. But the whole back, working down here, it'll be all the same, so that'll be easy work for the most part. Front, like I said, that's going to be the different part, so we'll just kind of have to see how it goes and how she decides she wants to come together. But once I get around the label and everything else will move pretty smoothly after that point, because it'll... oh, I needed one more on that row. The ring flipped on me and I didn't see it. Once we get a little further and get around that label, the rest of it will be pretty easy till we get to the bottom to decide how we're going to close it up. And we can put something across the bottom to tie it all together. It could be chainmail. I have used leather cord before. Just kind of depends on what it feels like it's wanting. I've had chainmail bottoms that I put full bottoms on, and I've also had some that are more just like sleeves, where it just sits over the top and it can easily come off. It all depends on the jar and, you know, whatever, either if it's for a customer, you know, what kind of look are they going for. I'll try to work that into it, and other times it's more you know, they want it to be able to come off because it's a bottle of wine that's always the same size that they would like to just put on there for display, and they can take it off to actually use it if they're still serving out of it. If it's one they're just wanting for looks, we can tie up the bottom. And others still just like to have the top on it because it might not be a bottle they keep forever. Who knows? I mean, some people like to save their wine bottles, some don't. So it's just a matter of kind of preference on what you like. And I try to work that into every custom project. What are you looking for? What can we do to try to incorporate that look for you, etc. This one's kind of for me per se. I might give this back. This is actually a jar that I got from my son-in-law. He was getting ready to toss it, and I was like, that's a nice little jar. I could probably do some type of wrap with it. And I've had it for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years now. I've never done anything with it. It's just been sitting there, and I keep looking at it, going, I need to do something with that. And it's like, well, this would be a good time to do it with the live streams and everything going on. Knowing that I've got a bigger project coming, I figured I would try to incorporate using it now before I get too far into the bigger projects. So yeah, that's all right. Go through these. Good time to work on it, try to get it finished up. And then I'll see if they want to keep it. They're a little busy right now trying to... They just sold their house and bought another house to grow the family of 4 now. Since now we have 4 grandbabies. So they need a bigger house. So they're doing that too. It's been kind of a whirlwind couple weeks for them trying to... So they sold their house like a week before she gave birth last week, and then found a house and got okayed on it, and so we'll get it done, and we'll see. I'll be like, you want to use this and display it, or I'll keep it, I'll display it, I'll take it to events with me. And I forgot to put that other one through again. Probably easier just to do it that way. Because I do like to take along a lot of things with me to events to show off the different things, even if they're my own things, just so everybody can see them, get the idea of things we can do, because there's all kinds of different things we can do. And then I use pictures for other things that will this show up in the side camera? I don't think I have it set tall enough to be able to see it over there. So we'll just kind of throw it on this way. Short side on the front. So that's where we're going on the front side here. I can definitely go down probably 2 more rows before I need to make a decision on how I want to coat that. And that gives us a pretty nice back. Like I said, I got a few more around the center here just to tighten that up a little bit and pull it all up. And then we'll work down the sides and corners once we get a little further down. But so that's how it's going to sit for now. Like I said, I got a few more rings I'm going to put in here to just kind of tweak it up around this a little bit. I don't want to go too much because I want to make sure it can slide off, at least for now, unless I decide to go with something that doesn't slide off. Like I said, I don't know what I want to do yet until I get down to it. It's already pretty tight, so I couldn't add too much to it on the bottom side right now. Around that part, if I want it to come off. But so right now we'll go ahead and we'll start adding 2 more rows here to this, and front side, and put it back on there and see how close we get to the let me get back over here. Old habits. Do it so many years in front of you like that, it's hard to remember to get into camera view. I'll probably say that for the life of doing streams, just cause. Go ahead and get some pre-closed ones up here, and then I can I'll do the one with attaching the pre-close, so basically just 1 row across it, and we'll be done with that. But I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Let me check if I got any comments. I know I've had a few viewers here and there, so I'm not sure if there's still anybody here. Facebook's kind of made it more difficult to see viewers. Looks like I might have one on Twitch too, so yeah, just a reminder to everybody, you can find the Booga Box on Twitch and YouTube, Facebook. I stream to all three of those live, and they should keep the one already pre-closed? No. Should keep everything updated on those too. Should keep some of the old videos if you ever want to go back and watch one from earlier. I try to label them in days and what kind of project we're doing that night, so it's easier to locate if you're looking to look at certain thing. If you haven't joined us on our other nights, for the short foreseeable future, we plan on doing Monday nights, Wednesday night, and Thursday night, all at 7:30. We're looking at Monday being a medium project night. Something that, you know, I'm going to try not to work on it outside of the stream. Other than I already have, because we're working on jelly cubes for our medium project right now anyway. Just because I'm doing some testing. This is the first time I've done the jelly cubes. Working on one in color, and then the current one that we were working on that's just bright aluminum. I'm going to just keep enlarging it with the rings I've got, and then decide if I want to wind up and coil up and cut some more rings of the same size to keep it growing. I don't know yet. And then on Wednesday nights we're doing a small project night. I'm trying to do bracelets or keychains, something smaller, something we can finish up in the hour to hour and a half that we do the stream. Just so that we can kind of start a project and finish a project in the same night type thing. There could be some bracelets that take longer, because there are some bracelets that I know take longer than that. But right now I'm also having Wednesday with the small project night. I'm trying to do weaves that I either haven't done or have done very few of. One, to get my stock up, because events are going to start opening back up, and plan on several events this year. So kind of want to get some more stock built up for that. Plus just to have a more variety of weaves. I mean, I think I've probably already got at least 35, possibly up to even 50. I'm not even sure how many different weaves and bracelets I currently have. But there are still a ton some that I've done the weave once and haven't really gone back to it. And I end up selling them. You know, some of the weaves are kind of cool. I just hadn't done them. Some I don't really care for, but other people like them, so, you know. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and get back down onto this. We'll go one. Now, actually, let me just go ahead and do the 3, so I can put the 3 on the bottom. And then Thursday nights are going to be the large project night, something that could take a while, kind of like doing the Chiefs flag style thing. We are going to be changing it up from this shortly enough. I've got my inlay pretty much done. I just need to finalize all my counts and then get my rings ordered, and then we will start working on that one. Which will hopefully start in about 2 weeks. So we'll do this week, again next week, and then hopefully that next week we'll start on it. At least that is the plan as of right now. Plans can change from time to time, but what did I do wrong here? Is it just that? Flipped the wrong way? What did I do? Oh, yeah. Go back over under. is that ring acting all weird? I guess just because it's not connected to anything else yet. Probably should have started on the other side to make it a little easier to put rings through, but since it's not an inlay with picture, we can just flip it over and continue working. No, you'll have to put it through, add your ring, then put it through the rest. But, you know. Come on, get under there. Once I don't really want to give away yet what we're going to do for the large project inlay till I get everything, and when we kind of start, I'll kind of show the picture of what is planned. It's going to be, I guess, I mean, I've already kind of talked about doing the bigger Chiefs thing, and this is just part of it. It's going to be done in smaller increments. I'll do a little bit here, do a little bit there, and then once it starts coming together near the end, they'll start putting all those together to make the one big tapestry that I want it to be. That is at least the plan. We'll see what happens. Hey John, good to see you. Watch some of your video again today. Hopefully you'll get a camera where you can show I haven't tried my cameras yet on doing welding. That is in the plans at some point. Oops, I forgot to put a ring on. And if you ever want to watch some more chainmail stuff, you should get over and check out some of John's stuff. He makes some live streams that are fun to watch. But otherwise, we're doing pretty good here, just working on our jar cover. Hopefully you're having a good Thursday. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. I'll have a little less time to work on them outside of streaming for the next few weeks, as I'm working on the kids DVDs for the band. I'm really going to be going crazy on that the next few weeks to get that all done, and they have their banquet tomorrow night. I don't know if I'm going to take the camera to tape anything. I normally don't add the banquets onto the DVDs, but I was invited. I haven't been invited in a few years to their end of year thing, so I was like, you know, I don't like just to show up uninvited to those type of events. You know, it's a little different when I do the marching band shows and stuff like that, since it's open to everybody, but they always like me showing up so I can do the video. So that'll keep me a little busy tomorrow, and then I'm going to try to do a little streaming Saturday. I'm not sure yet, but I'll be spending a good chunk of Saturday working on some more band videos to get that all done. No need to lie there, boring. No, they're fun to watch. I can watch chainmail or make chainmail for hours. Just got a new mic and cover and professional stand for it all. Cool. Yeah, I definitely had to get a mic for mine because the audio was just crap coming through my cameras. Still not that great. Didn't buy, you know, super expensive one, but one that seems to work pretty decently, so I've been fairly happy with it, so I can't complain. Yeah, here soon enough, people keep starting up chainmail streams. I'm not going to have no time to watch anything else other than chainmail streams. Once Sean gets his going back, you got yours starting up. I already watched Bracken's Mail's one, so I'll just have a computer on 24/7 streaming chainmail video. Can never have too much chainmail, right? We'll do doing the smithing thing too. Cool. I've kind of looked into that. I wouldn't mind trying some of it. The wife and son, they like to watch the Forged in Fire stuff, and I'll watch that on occasion. I'm like, man, that'd be kind of fun to learn. Just a lot more equipment I need to get eventually, and probably a good-sized garage area to do it in. I keep bringing up that just so I'm trying to get the wife to allow me to build a garage out there so I can move a lot of my stuff out into there and out of the. We have a walkout basement that I currently do everything out of, and it makes it okay. I mean, I can get outside to do things when it's nice and blah blah blah, but it'd be nice to have a garage where I can get all my other tools set up. I got a lot of woodworking stuff that just kind of all packed up. I got my large welder that just sits over there for the most part because it's just such a pain in the butt to try to get it out and everything going to do any major welding. I have a few times here and there, but it'd be nice to be able to get all that equipment out into a garage where I can get it more set up. Plus I can get the trailers in there and covered up, or camper trailer and the event trailer. And then just be able to do things outside even when it's raining. Or out in the garage. Or late night stuff where I could make too much noise inside. If I can have a place outside, keep the noise down, I can go out there at night and do some of that. So be kind of nice in a way too. I'm hoping. Be nice to be able to get it done here this year. Something I've been wanting since we bought our house 15 years ago now or so. Flip back over. Let's see here. Need some more rings. Nail leading into smithing. Smithing so much faster. Wood lathe from the 60s making bowls, and yeah, I've got quite a bit. Me and a buddy of mine years ago, we used to have our own wood shop where we sold out of, and we had to kind of stop doing that years ago, and that's kind of what led me into doing more chainmail as a business instead of just a plaything for years. So I still got quite a bit of that from doing all that the wood equipment and stuff. I don't know why. No, I guess it's not. I thought that one was already pre-closed. I found a few that I've already pre-closed. Sometimes I'll pull out rings and start working on something and getting into it and have some pre-closed, pre-opened, ready to go, and then it's just not working the way I want, so I end up stopping and moving on to something else, so I just put them back in there. So I'll find those on occasion. Mostly logging and board feed of black walnut. Yeah, I enjoy doing the woodworking. I mean, I got into that during my school. I took like 3 years of woods class and always enjoyed it. Kind of kept going with it. I mean, I did the chainmail too shortly after school. That's when I got into it, when I was 20. Just as fun, but it was mostly woodworking there. And then we had to close down the shop when they sold it. They were wanting to do something else with it, and thought about doing some other things, trying to find another place to do it from, but we ended up just going, okay. And, you know, my friend, he's been a friend of mine for years and years and years. He started having some health issues, so it was like, what's going to be the next thing? And it's like, you know, I like doing the chainmail. Let's go ahead and, you know, went to another Ren Fest, and it was like, yeah, I need to start doing chainmail. I'd like to incorporate some chainmail into some wood things once I can get out there and have a place to do it. I think I've got some ideas that have floated in my head for years and years that I'd love to try, just never been able to. When I cut my own rings, I close one ring and check my cutting sharpness. I start mashing versus cutting. Yeah. Well, most time I use my ringinator, so I can normally tell when the blade on it gets dull, but depending on what I'm cutting, if I'm cutting up aluminum, that thing will last forever. If I'm cutting up stainless and titanium and stuff, I have to watch it a little closer. Most time I don't have to worry about putting any changing the blade till I start getting a lot of burrs on those metals, and then once I start burring up, I know I'm getting, I think I can go probably several 100 pounds of aluminum without a problem. And when I get to the stainless steel and titanium and stuff, definitely go through blades a lot more on that stuff. Sometimes I kind of consider, I wonder if it's not necessarily cost effective to do them that way other than buying them pre-done, because the large manufacturers that do rings, they cut a little differently, use different equipment, so they're going to have less issues with it than I personally do. But I like just being able to make up whatever ring I need when I want it. Other than you going, okay, I want to do this. Well, how am I going to do this? Oh, I got to order the rings. How many rings do I need? When I cut up my own, it's so much nicer because it's just like, okay, if I want to do a small, I can just do, coil up one coil. If I really don't need a lot of them, I'll even use the little Pepe coiler just to give me like a little 4-inch thing to give me the rings, just to see if it'll work and work it from there. And then if it works, then I can, mass produce. I can sit there and coil up for hours and get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of rings. And I didn't put 2 on there, did I? Yeah. Flip back around. That's kind of one of the nice things, though, about being able to cut and coil your own. I do like doing it in the niobium and titanium, because then I can actually add the color to it, because I can anodize those here too. I don't mind doing the bright aluminum. I do a lot of stuff in bright aluminum too, and I do like the stainless, but again, you get less color in it. I mean, there are people that like the stainless stuff without color, but I do a lot of my wallet chains out of stainless, just because I want it more sturdy to be a wallet chain. About 35,000, for 2 pounds, in stainless. Because I got, when I was doing up the aluminum rings for the, where am I at here? Okay. Doing the jelly cube, I made up almost 8 ounces. It wasn't a whole lot, but it still gave me over 5,000 rings in aluminum. So eventually I'll want to do a jelly cube in stainless. I wouldn't mind doing one in titanium, but that'd be one expensive jelly cube. And that might be for my personal self, though, too. I have been kind of getting more into doing a little more from things here and there for myself lately. Like I said, I've actually only done 2 purposeful things for myself. Everything else I've made up for other people. Get back over there. Most times I don't do anything for myself. Yeah, well, I've made up a bunch of juggling balls, hacky sack style, that I've sold as 3 sets, 3 as a set for juggling purposes. But I could these too. That's my square one, which actually didn't come out too bad. I was kind of worried it might be too loose, but It's not really too bad, and it's definitely going to be bigger. And that's a 5x5, and that's a 5x5 in the proper ring size. So it's a little bit smaller overall. But I don't know how much movement I'll get out of it. I do like the square one. But we'll see how those work out when I get further. I've got a couple that I've got colors started on over to the side over there. They're just not as easy to grab right now. So let's go ahead and throw this on there, see where we're at here. That's probably about the right length that I want to go. Down on the front side, about ready to hit the thing now. Just I need to decide, do I want to work it down at a diagonal in the same format? Kind of wonder if I just come around and start working it all together and get my full back, and then I could come down and maybe do some small Byzantine stripes down as a border around and attach it to the 6-in-1. Still undecided yet, so probably just going to go ahead and continue working on the back right now and get me some length into my back side and think more of what I want to do with that. I have like 30 of the Japanese style with bearings inside. Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and pull this back off here, and we'll just work down the back side for some more tonight. And then I'll play with this during the week and try to get a better idea of how I want to do that. If I want to come off of that or build it just an opening out of the 6-in-1. I want to do something a little special. I mean, 6-in-1's not all, you know, super special per se. I mean, so I'm trying to decide on what I want to do on that front yet still. That's where my first contraction was. I'll probably do another 3-ish rows and then add another contraction into the back side, since this whole thing's got a little taper down to it. Now I'm just going to work on doing some pre-close and pre-open. Well, at least some pre-close, so I can do 2 rows at once for the most part. And if I do welded stuff, if it's a weave that I can do pre-closed in, I kind of like pre-closing and getting my weld done beforehand, because then I can just come through and, like I said, it still takes the same amount of time overall. You're still closing the same amount of rings, you're still opening the same amount of rings, you're welding the same amount of rings, but it just feels like it comes together quicker whenever I do the pre-close. I mean, during this time, you get nothing done for the most part, and you look at it, it's like, well, the project hasn't grown, but once you start getting into it, you'll get through it a lot quicker. So everybody has their own preferences, and sometimes it's just a matter of how I feel. I kind of change back and forth. Other than, like I said, I've never done the speed weaving. I end up missing some. Now, if I was to do welding speed weave, I could probably do that a little bit better because of the welding. It would remind me of checking every ring, since you weld every ring. But, and I'll probably, once I get done with jelly cubes, I might end up doing this medium project, doing something that's using some stainless welded, maybe even some silver. I've still got some silver rings over there I haven't used. I want to get some more, but I also want to get out the titanium and niobium anodizer, and I've got some scales that I want to do up. I've got a few ideas I want to do on those. Nothing like extravagant like Bracken's mail. You make some cool gecko styles and whatnot. But I've got some ideas on how I want to do some anodizing on those. I've got quite a few rings of those I can still do too. I like the stainless. I made up a bunch of different stainless sizes a while back, and then I just never used them. Coiled them, cut them, got them sorted and put up, and then I kind of, at the time, got started into other projects, so then I just never got to use them. It's like every time I start thinking about doing something somewhat large, I end up coming up with something else that's kind of larger. Kind of like last year when I did the jersey, Chiefs jersey. I had several other things I want to do, but it was like, oh, I know this is going to take me a while, and even though I did get it done fairly quickly, there was still a lot of hours in it. And then, you know, this year I was kind of getting around, and, you know, once February ends, it's normal time to start working on getting event stuff thought about, and I was starting to get into that. Well, and then the band DVDs, and then Vicky contacted me and through Sean and started working on the Chiefs flag, so that kind of kept me a little preoccupied at the beginning of the season per se. It was really in January and February. I don't have a whole lot of orders. Mostly it's just kind of clean up and get through the holiday stuff. And then March I start working on getting everything going again, start getting some stock made up, different things. Some more sapphire rubies to capture. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot. I've done a lot of captured steel balls. I've made some of those. Do I have one up here anywhere? Well, I have an older one right there, I guess, but it's got steel balls in it. It needs a major cleaning. It's been sitting here for a while. Though it does kind of look good, in a way. I don't know if I can get a good shot of that. One thing I want to do is come through and weld all these. When I was doing it, I didn't feel like pulling out the welder. Plus, at the time, the work area here was quite a bit of a mess because we were redoing the other half of the basement. And so I had a lot of stuff crammed over in my work area to have it all out of that room so we could redo the floor and all that, and it was a hairy mess for a while. Finally got that all taken care of and caught back up, and just need to get other things straightened still. But again, that's why I need the garage. I need more of an area that is. Bought the house. This was more of a man cave for myself at first. Then I just started getting stuff added to it. It was like, you know, I got a couple 3D printers. Then I've got the laser stuff I added to it. It just kept growing and growing. It was like, slow down, slow down. Am I doing that? Yeah, it goes up. Oh yeah, I need to do my flip. Here, I'll go on back over here and do it on this side. But things have kind of started settling down a bit. If you've been here before, and you know, we had a lot of time there with our son and his health issues and his kidney failure. Had all that to deal with, so that kind of took some time out of getting other things done that we wanted to get done. And he got his transplant just, we're a year and a half ago now. Was it a year? Hell, I can't even remember now. I just know everything started to kind of smooth out from doing all that, which has been nice. And oh, come on, stay from flipping, please. Other things are, you know, like I said, starting to calm down a bit, and hopefully this summer things will get better with the virus issues that we've been having, and things will get, you know, just start working out smoother and everything. That'd be nice. What did I do here? Nothing. Just ring flippage in the wrong way. There we go. Yeah, we need to go back this way. Once everything starts getting a little larger and longer, it'll be much easier. Oh, let me grab a drink real quick. Oh, I didn't put it close to me. What was I thinking? That's one reason why I'd like to also, if I cleared out, oh my squeaky chair, clear out some stuff here, I can get the, maybe get a different, bigger table that's more open in an area that I could do better live streaming than where I currently just kind of working in the stream to where I can in the space that I have. And if I can get a garage set up and get a lot of this other stuff out here, I'll have a lot more room in here to set up things for this. I mean, I probably won't do chain milling out there. I'd probably more just do my coiling and cutting, and then keep it more building in here. But if I do that, I can get out quite a bit of my other stuff over here, and I got several rolling carts that I can, or shelving units that I roll around down here and move them into different spots when I'm working on this or that, because I need more area there. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, it's probably going to be easier just to hold this for a while now. Well, like I said, thanks for joining us if you're here now or have watching this later on. Did I not put a ring on there? Yeah, there's no single. Okay. I'll make sure I don't miss it. I did do that earlier up in there when I worked on it the other day. I didn't notice it till a couple days after that. I was like, why is this so messed up? Oh, I forgot. I weaved it wrong right there. One weave wrong and kind of throws off everything else. Wasn't super bad. When it's a tighter weave, you definitely notice a lot quicker than a looser weave. The looser it is, the more you kind of throws you and not notice it as easily. Get some more rings plopped out here soon. Get up onto there. On this direction is a little easier actually to do it this with putting on the pre-close too, because I don't have to put it on in the middle. I can hold it the other way and do it, and I would normally. The only reason I'm not for the stream is just because I can't have it up close in my lap kind of style. Like I said, when it's in your lap right over it, much easier to do a lot of different things in a more what you're used to fashion per se. I kind of had to relearn a few different things doing streams. Not really relearn, just do them slightly differently, so that I don't have to have it in my lap and being in the way of everybody's viewing. Sometimes it works better than other. I went through the wrong one there. There we go. I know I still move out of frame, but I think that's what will help too. If I can get a larger area for putting a camera behind. Right now I'm straight up and down for the most part, because if I put it up against the back of the table here, there's just no room to see anything. I can't zoom out far enough to it's so close, it's insane. So I had to move it straight up. And so, basically, I only really need about another foot. I just need a wider table. These my benches here are 4 foot by maybe a 1.5 feet deep. They're not super deep. Deep enough to do most things on, but at least things that I do. The inlays. Once you start going to other things where you don't need as much for bracelets and stuff like that, you don't need as much, but now it's more if I just want some camera room back there. Well, let me check them streams here. Looks like everything's coming through well. Frame rates drop back to normal, so that's good. Where are we at anyway? 50 minutes already, I swear. There's something about it. Whenever I'm doing a stream, time just super speeds, man. Because I can sit over here for 20 minutes sometimes doing work, and it feels like I've been over here for an hour or something. And I'll look going, it's only been 20 minutes? Why, what's going on? And then I get in doing these streams, man, it's like an hour goes by and it's like, it felt like 10 minutes. But then when I actually get done and look at what I did, I mean, last night we finished up that bracelet really quick, and we ended up closing the stream down a little early last night, just 'cause, I mean, we were still over an hour, but got to the point where I was like, I want to try something a little different here, but I don't want to waste time on the stream if it doesn't work. But I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, if it works and doesn't, you're still streaming. You can give other people ideas, things to do, things not to do. And that's why I like watching other streams too. Plus, just interacting with them. I like chatting with Josh and John's on their streams. John's just started his up here recently. He's still around here. Hour 20 of my stream. Vid kicks out too, so it's a common issue. So, yeah. Okay. One, two, three, not four. Yeah, I never tried to do a European. I did the 4-in-1, 6-in-1. I probably could do 8-in-1. I'd probably have to go to 3/8" rings though. I probably need to go to a thicker gauge when I got that big though. I'm gonna try that at some point, see what it looks like. I think I've seen some, but it's been a while. So I like to look online, but I try not to do too much because I don't want to make exact copies of stuff. But then again, things that I've tried, that come to find out somebody's already did. So anything new, I do go try to search around for, see if somebody's already done it. Then I was like, well, I could have saved a lot of time and hassle if I would have just looked beforehand to see if there was something like it, but yeah, I was going through the center of the other ring. I was like, there's something wrong on that one. How long did you end up streaming last night after I left? Again, I didn't even pay attention to the time when I was watching it today. I was just kind of let it go while I was doing some working on that bracelet, and I didn't even look at the times. I just kept going until I got done. I had to finally give up the ghost, go to bed. Well, then I didn't sleep worth a darn last night. Boy, it was up and down constantly, it seemed like. It was like I could not get comfortable. It was nice in the house. We were able to open up. It was a nice night, temperature-wise. So I don't know why. I just could not sleep for nothing last night, though. I ended up getting up somewhat early and then ended up not being up for very long. And took a quick nap because it was like, man, I just could not get enough sleep. 10, maybe 15 minutes. Well, I did start it over when I watched it earlier today and started it up and just kind of let it play while I was working. I didn't even notice how long it was on. I just kind of was weaving and listening about how it goes. It's normally what I do with Josh's during the day. He starts them about normally he comes on about 3:30, 4 o'clock my time, I guess. And in case anybody doesn't know, I'm in the Kansas City area, obviously, since I do Chiefs stuff and Chiefs colors. Figured it was kind of a given, but if you'd been with us at any time before, anyway. Oh, darn it! Yeah, I missed the one up here. Pop back over. There we go. Alright, let me get these rings flipped back around here. Make sure I'm going in the correct way. This is definitely the largest size I would go with in this gauge, that's for sure. I wouldn't want to go any bigger. They're almost, if I was doing it, I wouldn't do this size ring in a 4-in-1, that's for sure. In this gauge, it's just too thin. And I normally like it more for the Japanese stuff. Double it up and do like a 2 and 8 Japanese. Works out well, like I said, for the when I was doing my wife's skirt. It works really well. I'll use 3/16 inch connectors onto the doubles of these, and it works out well. It's held up through what I was actually kind of surprised that it held up as long as it has, and I just keep adding to it. So eventually I'll pull it out. It might show up on a Monday night on a medium project night, because I want to still add to it. There's a few areas I still want to add a little color to it. Right now it's just bright aluminum everywhere. I do want to edge it in a color. I was going to do gold, but she's not into gold. She's more into silver. So most everything I do, if I made her a sterling silver. What weave did I do in that one for her? I think it was JPL. 3 in small rings, and then the larger rings I did a half Persian 3-in-1. That was with some fine silver. It came out really beautiful. Alright, on to the next row we go. Next 2 rows, I guess. And, well, I think I still got the picture on Facebook that I can re-grab, but it was, a lot of those pictures was the pictures that I lost last year at the hard drive crash, and I'm still driving myself nuts over that, because I have a backup system, but I never verified it. It was backing up, but not. I've got 4 hard drives in the system with an additional 8 external, and they were supposed to be backing them all up, but for some reason my band DVD and my Booga box DVD or hard drives, those 2 were not in the backup program, and they were at one point. Well, at least I swear, because I did have some backups of them, but at the time they were over a year old, so I was missing a lot of pictures in that time, and I was still just hit myself in the head going, man, I can't believe I lost all those pictures. I know I can get about half of them back from Facebook and a variety of other little places that I've posted them, but they're never quite as good as the original, because Facebook resizes and everything, and when you take a picture, with my my big Canon pictures, they come out quite large in size and look nice, and then Facebook has to go screw them up, so I can re-download them, but they're never quite as good as the original. So some things I just can't get pictures of again too, because they were sold items that are now gone, and I don't want to have to contact people going, hey man, can you take a picture of that you bought from me 2 years ago or something like that. I don't want to do that kind of thing to people. So I'll just have to remake some things, but now I do verify that my backup takes hold once a week. I verify that it's got all my hard drives backed up again, because that was just, like I said, it was crazy. I was doing the band DVDs, and I lost all their video. Luckily, I do all their events. I do put up on YouTube on a band YouTube channel I got set up for them. The only thing that again sucked was when I do those after an event, I normally do them quick, so it's only the one main view from up top or wherever. And so I lost all my additional footage. I normally set up a couple cameras on the field where it's just getting a partial of them. I lost all those. So that video that year, that DVD, just it really upset me, because I couldn't do all the extra stuff that I normally do. It was all combined, sometimes 4 or 5 different videos, and just clip back and forth to different parts of the show. If something's happening in front of one camera that's more close up like that, I'll cut to it and show it, and then go back to the main view. But I normally just go with the main view for YouTube so that the kids can watch it and just see the whole show without, see if where they can fix things and improve things. And that's one reason why I do it, just because I like seeing them improve and get better. And I think video like that kind of helps. You can watch it and over again, see where your people who are out of step, missteps, formation wise, get it all straightened up. I also take the drone and do that too. Couldn't really do too much drone work other than during practices because they had to go down to a different school for their home football games. Been that way for years and years and years and years. This next year, though, that'll change because they're actually putting in... They got a football field for practice at their school, but there's no seating and stuff in this year. They're actually installing a nice little box area and stands and everything, so I'll actually have another camera angle to work with next year. As long as I can find helpers, because it's hard to set up 4 or 5 cameras and fly a drone all within that little short time, 15-minute halftime. You got to be done and out of the way again so the football team can get back on there. Used to have my youngest daughter used to help me a lot, and then when she was younger, she used to go to all those things for me, and then she went into band, so her 4 years of high school, she really couldn't help me too much, and had the wife helping as much as possible. But she has her own health issues, so then it become even harder to do it, and now I just do what I can do, get as much as I can with what I can do by myself. Unless I find a helper on occasion, I can. Sometimes the youngest will still help me out if she's not busy doing her own thing, I don't want to take away from her life. She's now, 21 and moving on, doing her own thing. All my kids are now over 21. It's kind of a weird thing, I'll tell you that. It's been an interesting 28 years, almost 30, I guess, yeah, because the oldest one is almost 30. I guess she'll be 30 next year. Started my crew early, a little earlier than I probably should have, but I love my kids and I wouldn't change a damn thing, so. We had our rough times, but, kind of made us who we are, and I think for the better for the most part. I can't say, it was awful. There was days, but everybody's going to have days. Look at it in its totality, yeah, it's been good. I'm happy that we've all kind of improved our lives and let them check their own thing. Here's Smith and Mail and Harmer Workpiece videos. Oh man, mail all. Yeah. The first time I had that happen was, I guess, that would have been 11 years ago. And that's shortly after I started doing the band stuff and started having more and more hard drive space that I needed. Yeah, because the hard drive ended up crashing on me. And I lost a bunch of baby pictures that I had. And it was at that point, that's when I started setting up a auto backup system to give me backups daily. And I had a few hard drives crap out on me during those years after that, but I always had a nice backup to use. But yeah, they're still. I bought a onesie years and years and years ago. I guess it's at least 21 years old now. Metallica onesie that I wanted for the daughter, and I don't have any pictures of it. I lost all those back then. like you said, never looks like they never existed, since you don't have nothing you can show of it anymore. And that's when I started getting good backups going, and I thought I had everything going good. I was getting backups, and I was looking, but I was only looking quickly, and I was seeing my backups there. But like I said, I didn't realize that 2 hard drives weren't included in it out of the 8 that needed to be backed up daily. As I start my backups every night, like at midnight, they start and they get done at like 7 in the morning or so, because it takes forever to do them all. Almost goes 24 hours to keep backups going. Alright, let me get a drink. But yeah, it blew. Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of them, that's for sure. Especially for all this new stuff. I mean, I've got my drone has a 128 gigabyte flash drive in it. My main Canon has same size. All my Sonys have 64s in them. I mean, I go to one event, I'll come back with easily, you know, almost 500 gigs worth of video and pictures and stuff like that. And that's why normally every year after the band season for the band stuff, I'll end up putting it on its own hard drive, fill it up, and put it off to the side in storage, so it's not even in the thing. It still have a backup that I still do a daily on, but it also has its own that just sits away. So if I ever need to pull it back out, and there's been a few times I have had to do those during the years, because I've done several different bands throughout the years. There's a couple of years where I was doing a couple bands at the same time, because my daughter was in one. I was still helping out my old band, and so I was doing 2 bands for 4 years. Actually 5 years, because I went to the school where my daughter went. I actually started doing stuff for them a year before she even got there, just so I could get into their system, know how they work their stuff, what kind of events they do, and just so I could kind of learn the lay of the land. I was willing to do it afterwards, but I kept saying, just let me know when events are. I'll come and get stuff for you, but never heard from them, so it's like, well, I'll just continue to go here and do this. So where are we at here? Everything's looking good. I don't think I'm missing any. Yeah. Just checking all my feeds and whatnot. Alright, so the next row, I'm going to start on this side. But hopefully I don't have any more issues. Like I said, I've had a few still crap out on me, but I was able to easily restore everything back from them, so that was kind of nice, not having to worry about any of that. And we'll come down to the back side to do the first 2. Easy enough, just put in another new hard drive and reformat it with what was already on it, the bad one before, so made it kind of nice. Like I said, now I verify every week that I've at least got one good backup of every single drive, so that I don't have that issue again. Thought I had gotten it done the first time that happened, but still things happen. Especially the more you have of anything, it's harder to keep track of everything. Yeah, okay. I thought I was off there for some reason. Yeah, I don't even know. I've probably got another 10 hard drives that are now full, sitting in storage for whenever I need them, if I need them again. But I figure at some point in time somebody else will have to take over the band stuff from me. I do a lot of the alumni stuff for our old band too, so I've got all kinds of things that I have for that, and I won't last forever. I mean, I'm already pushing that 50, so somebody will eventually have to take over for me. I'll do what I can for however long I can, but eventually somebody else will have to. Oh, dang it, I did that again. Every time I start a row, I'm not paying attention, I end up messing it up somehow or another. Come on, flip around over there. Alright, just take you out, lay you flat again. You stupid thing. Alright. Two, and then three. Well, we're making a little good progress on that, on this piece. Finally getting some shape to it at least, so I can kind of see more of it and decide what I want to do. Not four. Like I said, hopefully I'll get some work done on it. I know I won't get a ton, because after tomorrow night I'm just really going to have to buckle down on that video converting. Some nights will be a lot easier than other nights, but every year I learn new little tricks into doing my video, on how to especially line up video whenever I've got multiple angles to pick from and choose from. I'd say now some of the longer parts are just trying to decide where I want to make the cut. And then if I got all those camera views and there's something happening in every view that looks good, then I end up just using them all, making a split screen type thing and using them all on there for, you know, however many seconds that it goes. Sometimes it can go a minute or two, but most times I kind of flip around screens every few measures if there's something going on. Otherwise I'll leave it on the main screen so you can kind of see the full thing. Trying to figure out how to, and I've read up on it and I've tried. The biggest thing is the programs, being able to do it, but have, you know, how you, when you're playing a DVD where you can pick a different angle on a movie, if they filmed it from several angles, you can pick an angle to watch that scene from. I've been trying to do that. First time I tried to do it was a major fail, and since I've learned and read and I've gotten a better idea, and I don't know if I'll be able to work it into any this year, but eventually that's what I'd like to do. So, but that'll take up a lot more of the DVD. I almost need to go Blu-ray to put the amount of video I get. And now, you know, I even have more video to save because of doing all these. I record everything and I live stream them, but I also record it to the hard drive. So I'm building up the video library every day with more stuff. Almost every day. It was there for while I was doing the Chiefs flag. A little less now since I'm only planning on doing 3 nights a week. And that, like I said, could change over time depending on... Why do you not want to close right? Just depends on how things go, and just right now I figured that was the easiest way, knowing with what I had coming up. And once we get into summer, I was hoping maybe, but then I'm like, well, I'm going to start having events on Friday, Saturdays. You know, I'd like to do, at minimum, get back to doing once a month events. I would like to do at least 2 events a month. I would like to do more than that, but, you know, it can start getting a little hairy with keeping stock up. And, you know, the wife's health kind of slows that down a little bit because she wants to be at these things too, which I do enjoy, but, you know, I know I'm going to have to start doing these more and more by myself, so I'm trying to get set up to be able to do them easier by myself. But I have a lot of stuff. It can take a while, even with us two working when we get to an event, you know. Normally they'll give you a couple hours to get set up, and we're using all those 2 hours, if not more. We could still be setting up once the event started sometimes, just because like I said, I literally have quite a bit of stuff, and I just keep adding to it. But you know, I don't need 2 there. I can slow down a little bit, but I don't want to slow down. I just want to keep making stuff. The more stuff I have, you know, the better, the more things people can choose from. See different things, and, you know, like most everything. What did I do? Oh, I screwed that one up. Only went through 2 instead of 3. The 4-in-1 bug got me. That's what happened when you work for 3-4 weeks on 4-in-1 constantly. And then you gotta keep reminding yourself, okay, we're going to 6-in-1 now. Oh, crud. Well, I'll test it and see. I should have probably put a contraction in this row. I might have to come back and add it. I don't want to do too much till I get some sides done, but I don't want to go too far without adding it, or I'll just have a bunch of loose stuff hanging off the side, and I don't want to have any looseness there. I want to have it fairly tight, even if it's just if I decide to go with it just as like a hanging on style. I still want it to look good. If we get too bulky there, it can start flopping together. I don't want that. But that's one thing, like I said, I like about doing the jars is you just have to kind of find out what works for the jar the best. I was making, and I still do, have some for another friend of mine who does a lot of Renfests. They have bath salts and soaps and lotions and stuff that they do, and I wrap a lot of their jars. So it's fairly simple because you know, they're always the same size jar. So I put rubber around the bottom rings to hold it on. I don't do a full bottom so they can take it off if they need to wash up the jar, fill up the jar. They don't want to get the mail all messed up. So I put rubber around the bottom so it'll hold on, but they can take it off. Might be something I incorporate into this. I'm unsure as of yet. Like I said, I'll find out more once we get further towards the end and decide how I want to close up the bottom. Okay, I was like, oh, I didn't screw that up again, did I? We're getting close to finishing up this row on this. Put back. Well, we squared it up tonight and got several rows added, so that's good. Let's see here. We need to. Yeah, a couple more here. But always come back, check out. We could be doing different things, different times. Eventually we'll be doing some anodizing of titanium and stuff. Eventually some welding. Depending on where we get to at certain times. Put back over. Why are you fighting me? There. Simple flip, so. And we got a decent amount added to it. I'm not even on the sides, and I know that, but when I put in my center neck hole there, I wanted to kind of play more. Let me see how we're fitting here. I'll pull that out. I'll shrink up some that way, but kind of just looking at it, trying to still decide. I might add some and start closing my sides in around on the shoulders of this so that I can decide more of how I want that to come around the label there. I don't know if I do a diagonal within the 6-in-1, if I can make it even or not. And if I make small end parts there, I can do the angle wherever I need to and attach it to the side over here once it comes down. So, I don't know. We'll work and continue and see what happens. I'd try to do more of that because there's a lot of pulling apart and retrying different things while I'm not doing live stream. And but it's already fitting pretty good. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to close up too much more around my neck hole there for the most part, just because I need to get up around the metal stopper cap on it. Yeah, it wouldn't be any easier to get around that if I take that off anyway. About the same width no matter which way I go, so I might change up some ring sizes right across the top of that maybe. I don't know, again, I'll just have to play and see how that works out. But we're going on about an hour and 20 minutes, so it might be a good time to go ahead and close down. We got that row done, and I don't like to, if I do any more and then we cut the stream short and I'll have to come back and finish it up anyway. It's always a good time to finish up on a good stopping point like that, so we'll probably go ahead and call it quits for tonight. Give me a few minutes to kind of get things settled down. Get me a drink real quick. I mean, next part would be just closing it open to some more rings anyway to get the next 2 rows done. Well, we're slowly getting there. I could make this it's too big to make like a Barbie set of armor. You need to use some small rings, at least 1/8 inch, if not 3/32 really, to make it look good. At least proportional to a Barbie doll compared to a human. But like I said, we won't be back for sure until Monday. Be back Monday night to do our medium project and jelly cubes. Possibly might do one Saturday. If we do, it might be earlier in the afternoon. I kind of thought about it going, well, maybe around noon to 1. Like I said, I'm not sure if that'll happen or not. But I'll make a post up. If we do, you'll see a live stream thing pop up saying, hey, I'm back live. So you might check out Saturday if you're not doing anything. If not, we'll definitely be back on Monday night. So we're going to go ahead and trying to get my mice to wake back up. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and call it quits tonight. Thank you all for joining us. If you're watching us live now, or you happen to I like to make a ring for the neck, then I have done that. I normally do that with the round bottles. But this one, since it was different shape, I've actually changed my mind a couple different times on what weave I was even going to do. So this one I am kind of playing around with a little differently than I normally would if I was working with a round bottle. So, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and call it quits for tonight. Go ahead and check us out again on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. Give us likes and shares. All those little ones help get us out there. Have more people come in, watch, see what we're doing. And then for sure we'll be back Monday. If not, we might see you Saturday. So y'all have a good weekend if I don't see you Saturday. And we'll chat with you later. Now if I can get my mouse to come back, I went to sleep again in half a second. Alright, there we go. Alright, y'all have a good one. We'll see you later.